In my search for phones, I'm still up in the air about AT&T versus Verizon, particularly since I found out the NV Touch, which is the successor to the Voyager, supports document viewing. However, after having gone with this form factor for a few years, I'm up in the air as to whether or not I want to continue it. Yet at the same time, if we look here, get a full QWERTY keyboard for messaging. That has become just fantastic. I've become really speedy on the Voyager because of the keyboard. It's nice and spacious and whatnot. The reason I'm not too keen on the form factor anymore is because it is a little bit thick, and there are some pairs of pants that I have that are a little bit tight, and it's like it barely fits in there. So there's a new kind of phone on the block. The Samsung Alias 2 is one of them, except for one little thing. It can open like this, and it also opens, you know, like a traditional flip, you know, like that. And it's got an e-ink keyboard on board, and I think that's pretty neat, except it just seems, and it's neat, but it's also a little bit strange. It's something I'm not used to. I don't think anybody is. It's literally the first of its kind. It's the first kind of a phone to use e-ink, but this is what I mean when I say QWERTY flip. But at the same time, it's not, because you have to flip it to the side as opposed to flipping it up. There is a phone coming to Verizon by the name of the Samsung Cleo, which was formerly the Samsung Strut. And if you Google it, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. It's a flip phone with a QWERTY keyboard and no... Well, it's got the dial pad, but it's embedded in the QWERTY keyboard. And why are they doing this? Well, a lot of people... believe it or not, I've got several friends who text on a regular basis, and they think that I'm crazy for not having an unlimited plan. That's how big texting has gotten. It's basically gotten to the point where you're crazy if you don't have an unlimited plan. And if I remember correctly, there was even some sort of legal action going on to stop... I don't know if it was either stop charging for text messages or to give you one flat rate for unlimited no matter what plan you have or what it is. But that's how big texting has gotten. In some cases, in some cases, it's even overridden voice calls, in the sense that now the carriers offer plans that have nothing but data and texting, no voice whatsoever. If you want to use voice, it's going to be a per minute charge. To combat this new trend, the manufacturers have come up with a new kind of phone that I've dubbed the QWERTY Flip. And the QWERTY Flip, it's hard to describe. Try and think of a traditional flip phone that's a little bit wider. It's about, instead of being about yay wide, it will be about yay wide. So it's a little bit thicker, a little bit wider, a little bit chunkier. But the reason is to accommodate the full QWERTY keyboard. And there are two of them. I did mention the Samsung Cleo and the LG Lotus. Those are the two that I'm aware of. The Cleo is coming to Verizon. There's a little bit of a problem with it, and that is that it seems to be touted towards a female audience. That's a bit of a shame because I love the form factor. I love the idea of having a flip with a full QWERTY keyboard. And I'm not too crazy on the Samsung Alias because in order to use that, I have to flip it two different directions, which I just think is silly, you know. At the same time, it may get a different, you know, bigger screen. I'm still up in the air, but just the form factor of the QWERTY Flip, basically you open it up like this and you get a full QWERTY keyboard. I just think that's really neat, and it's a shame that the one that's coming to Verizon is going to be touted primarily towards a female audience. Now, I did look at Phone Arena. That phone's going to be available in gray, in addition to pink. At least it is on US Cellular. I don't know what the color scheme is for Verizon. I do not know when it's coming to Verizon. The reason I say it's a shame is because the LG Lotus is available in both pink and black, and the black actually looks very nice from a masculine point of view. It's not too girly or anything. If you get the purple, then yes, probably will be, but if you get the black, it's perfectly fine. But I did read a review. It's already available in Canada under, I believe, Rogers or something. But the story is, and pardon me while I plug in my MagSafe while I talk, but the story is that this phone, it's been said that the phone is pretty much female-oriented, and like I said, that's a shame because I love the form factor. If they could make it a little bit more masculine, or maybe LG can come up with a Lotus for Verizon or something similar. Because, I mean, look at Sprint. You've got a side-sliding candy bar style phone with the LG Rumor and the Samsung Rant. Both of them are practically the same device, just under different names, and different feature sets possibly. And I think that we should try that with Verizon, come up with a QWERTY flip under LG, you know, bring the Lotus over here or give us something. Because if the Samsung Cleo is in fact pretty much female specific, I am going to be disappointed, because I have honestly fallen in love with the form factor. I have seen the Lotus in person. The one thing I absolutely love about these QWERTY flip phones is the display is nice and wide. It may seem a little bit strange, but you know, on an ordinary flip phone the display is kind of narrow. The bigger the display, the more real estate you have to work with, and for somebody with low vision this is especially important. But as a result, because of this, the QWERTY flip is actually a very viable choice. I do wish that they could come up with a way to develop a QWERTY flip, or not with a way, but you know, they already have a way, but just go ahead and do it. QWERTY flip with a nice 2.8-inch screen, you know, and it's a flip phone, and you open it up with the full QWERTY keyboard like the Lotus and the Cleo, and that I think would be very nice. There is a slider QWERTY as well called the Samsung Blitz, but that's a little bit childish, and also it's out of the scope of what we're talking about. But that's the new form factor of these phones. It's a QWERTY flip, and the reason is because more people are texting, so a lot of phone companies are combating this with these new designs, and I hope to see more of these QWERTY flip style phones in the future. So that's pretty much it. Comments are welcome. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. Oh, by the way, if anybody has any insight into the possibility of a rival for the Samsung Cleo on Verizon, or could give me some insight as to what color scheme and whatnot, and what they think of the Cleo, that would be appreciated. It is on my it's on my list, but if it is in fact going to be touted towards a female audience like I've read from a few websites, then it's going to be off my list. So if somebody could give me some insight as to whether or not they're going to have a more masculine, maybe color scheme for it, you know, we'll see. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome. Insults against me will get you blocked, and have a nice day.